Hello there everyone, this is Brother Birch. In this video, I will be introducing how to set up Visual Studio Code for any C++ development. Okay, so first of all, I need to download it. So I just Googled VS Code download. I'm running a Windows 10 machine, and so I'll just click here and download that. Once it's finished downloading, I'll go ahead and run the installer, and I'm just going to run all of the defaults as I run this installer. Okay, so it pops up here. Just run through here. And again, like I said, I'm just leaving all the defaults. Once it finishes, it'll come here, and I'll leave that box checked to go ahead and launch Visual Studio Code. And the first thing I see once it launches is this right here. Okay, I'll just go ahead and close out anything that's popping up. So the first thing that I want to do to be able to run C++ code, I'm going to have to download a C++ compiler for Windows. Okay, I already searched for one of these. I'll go ahead and include this in the link or in the description of this video. But I'm going to come here and I'm going to go ahead and download this. Okay, and I'll just hit this button right here. Okay, it downloaded. Let's go ahead and install this as well. And I'll just leave the defaults for this one too. Okay, so that completed. I'll go ahead and hit continue. And then right here it shows what all I'm wanting to install. And all I really need to do for the purposes of what I'm going to be doing is just this C++ compiler. Okay, so I'll check that. And then if you want to install anything else, you can, but I'll come over here and I'll just hit apply changes. Hang on. Okay, and I'll go ahead and just hit apply. And I'll wait for a sec for it to download everything there that I selected. So this is really important. If I don't download a C++ compiler, then my computer won't know how to render the C++ code when we run it. So this doesn't matter what operating system you're running, what text editor you're running, you will need to have a C++ compiler. Okay. Meanwhile, let's look at this here. So I downloaded a couple of extensions for Visual Studio Code in particular. So in here in Visual Studio Code, I'll go ahead and just click on this guy right here for extensions, and I will type in C++. And we'll see what comes up. So these things you can look at, you can see how many people have installed them. So you can see that 25.5 million people have installed this one. And you can also see their ratings for it and what all it does. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and install this one right here. And let's look at this. It looks like changes were applied successfully. I may now close this dialog. Okay, so we have the C++ compiler. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Before we can use that, we do need to add it to our path. And I'm in Windows, but that's so that, the computer, when I run these programs, it actually knows where to find that compiler. So I did a Google search for that and I saved that link. But in order to add that to our path here, let's see here. I think the easiest one to read here will be this guy down here, the Stack Overflow question. How do we add that to our path? Okay, so I'm just going to open up my Windows Explorer right here, and I'll right click on this PC and hit Properties. And close that now. And then I'm going to click on Advanced System Settings, and that'll pop up this window right here. And then I can click on Environment Variables. Okay, and this is saying the exact same things here. So advanced section, click on the environment variables, and then in here highlight the path, and then hit edit, or we can add as well. So where did that go? Right here. So I'm just going to hit new. Go down here for system variables. Sorry, not new. I'm going to click on path right here, and then in here I'll go ahead and hit new. Okay. Going to browse, and I want to find where I installed that program just now. So in here, program files, Whoops, other program files. What's right here? Okay, and then let's see what it says here. And we want the bin. Okay, so I'm going to come back, make sure that I have bin selected here, and you can see that I have added that to my path. All right, I'll hit OK. Okay, so now my computer will know where to find that compiler. It looks like I installed this. Let's see what else I suggested for us to install. A code runner, so that's huge. I can probably just Google or just search for code runner in here instead of going to that link. Yeah, so this card here, so you can see we have C sharp, C++ right there. Okay, so here's our code runner. This will actually allow us to run the code within Visual Studio Code. Okay, so anytime we have a C++ file, we can run it in here. Okay, it looks like it finished installing. If I come into here, let's see, recommended and popular. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close out Visual Studio Code and then reopen it. Okay, enabled we have C, C++, and CodeRunner. Perfect. Those are the two that we just installed. So now let's go ahead and write a quick little hello world program. Okay, so I'm just going to come over here and I'll say new file, and I'll name this as, I'll just save this to my desktop for now. Let's say hello world.c++. Okay, so we have this here. I'm going to have my include. All right, so that we can actually run this. Whoops. See that nice little error coming up? It's beautiful. Okay, got that, and then using namespace. All right, so now I'm gonna make my main function, and I'll just say console out, and then hello world line break, and we're not gonna really return anything. Okay, so there's that. And if I wanted to run this, if we go back and look at our code runner extension, down towards the bottom, it's right here. It says to run code, use shortcut Control Alt N or any one of these things. Okay, so let's go ahead and try that. Let's open this up, and I'm going to type in or press Control Alt N. All right, open up this down here, and it looks like we're having an issue. Let's see what's going on. There we go. So I just ran it one more time, and you see it popped up, our little hello world message right there. So this access is tonight. That was an anti-malware software that was coming up, and I had to pause that service to be able to get this to run. But anyways, so that's all that you have to do. Okay, I know that might have seemed like a lot, but all we installed Visual Studio Code. We installed these two extensions, okay, a C++ one and a Code Runner one, and then we installed the C++ compiler using that program to get that done, and then we included that in the path. Okay, and then we can run programs. Okay. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. But I hope that this video is helpful for you in kind of getting Visual Studio Code set up with C++. And so yeah, just let me know if you have any questions.